What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Nothing But Skills, and today I'm bringing you guys another Division 2 video. Today's video is going to be focused on my LMG build that I brought to you guys a couple videos ago, but I'm bringing it to my second channel because I wanted to make some changes to it, and this one will be running with the Unstoppable Force chest, plus I got a couple different mods, so we're going to get into that in just a second. Remember, if you guys enjoy any of these videos, make sure you smash a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions after watching any of these videos, use the comment section down below. But let's get into the video. So the first thing you're going to notice is I am running at 253,000 armor, and that's at almost 56,000 health with 1800 skill power. Now for the guns, I'm running the Black Market M60. This is going to be at 32,000 base damage with a rate of fire of 550, and then the mag size, look at that mag size, 135. So yeah, so we are running with a lot of bullets on this bad boy. Remember, the great thing about the LMGs is they get 15% to damage to targets out of cover. That's why they're so good. Now, on top of that, I have Unhinged, receive 25% weapon damage at the cost of negative 35% weapon handling. It also has Allegro, and that's why I have 550 rate of fire. So that's going to give me that 10% rate of fire. And then it has the bottom talent, Everlasting, while holstered and in cover, the weapon regenerates 2 ammo for every 5 seconds. Not the best talent, but it is what it is. Now the way I have this modded is I am running the small RDS scope. This is going to give me -5 accuracy plus 15% stability. I have a large pouch that's going to give me plus 35 rounds. That's why I'm getting that 135 round magazine. I have an angle grip that's going to give me 10% stability. And then I have a large suppressor that's going to give me 10% accuracy. Now for my infantry MG5, this one base damage is going to be 21.2k. The RPM, look at that bad boy, 800 RPM. That's what I like about the MG5. This also gives you that 15% damage to targets out of cover. The mag size on this one is 85. Now this one has Unhinged too, so I get that 25% weapon damage. Instead of jazz hands, I would like to have ammo capacity on here, so then I'll be closer to 100 rounds on this MG5. And at 800 RPM, I think it would be amazing. So I'm still looking for an MG5, preferably an infantry MG5, because those tend to have a little bit more damage and then have ammo capacity instead of 10% reload speed. Now for my pistol, I'm running a double barrel, and I like this one because it has a really good talent. Overlapped while holster, your equipped weapon gains weapon handling bonus based on this weapons type. So that helps out on you being able to control that MG5 or that M60 downrange. You're gonna see I have 3 offensive, 8 defensive, and 7 skill power. So for the mask, I'm running the Gilligard mask. I love running Gilligard on most all my builds because of the rolls that they give. Plus, you get that 5% total armor for at least having 1 piece. So I always like to have at least 1 piece. On this build, I have 2 pieces because I needed the rolls. So we have the 5% total armor. Then we have the 20% hazard protection. For the attributes, we have hazard protection and we have skill power. Now, I kind of would like to get rid of that hazard protection there and then put health. But, I mean, it's fine. Hazard protection helps against those status effects. Now the talents I have on here are Spotter, 10% weapon damage to pulse enemies. That's why I really like this one. It's going to get a buff in the next update, so it's going to go up to 20%. But even with just having that 10%, that's pretty good, and that lasts about 10 seconds with the amount of skill power I have. And this requires 5 or more skill power. And then I have this mask in particular because it has a utility protocol mod slot, and then it's going to give me 136 skill power on top of the skill power I already have. And this is going to get me a little bit closer to getting to that 7 skill power mark that I need. Now for the chest, I'm running the Fenris chest. And the reason why I chose the Fenris chest, not because it gives me 10% assault rifle damage, because I'm not even using that, but because it has some really good rolls. So look, I have 11,000 health on here. I have 6.5% weapon damage. And then I have 389 skill power. Now, it also has 2 talents. That's what I like about the Fenris chest, is because you always get those 2 talents. So I have Unstoppable Force. Killing an enemy grants 2% weapon damage for every 10,000 max armor. Requires 7 or more defense. And then we have Harden on here, 10% armor. So that's where I'm getting that armor from. Then it also has an offensive mod slot, which I have a pretty decent mod on here. I don't have the perfect one. I would like to get something that has like 5% LMG damage and then like 1% weapon damage. But look, this one has 3% LMG damage, plus it gives me another 1.5% weapon damage. So 4.5% total damage that I'm getting just from this one mod. So that helps me get that high damage. Now for the holster, I'm running the Douglas and Harding. This gives me that 5% accuracy. It's going to help out on my LMGs. Then it has a really high skill power roll, 529. That's why I love this holster. One of my favorite holsters to use. It has devastating on here, 5% weapon damage, and then it also has a utility mod slot that gets me to number 7 on my skill power. If we get into the knee pads, this is the second part of the Gilligar knee pads, and this is why I tell you this is my favorite pieces to run. I always try to put this on my build somewhere, especially if I'm trying to hit higher defensive numbers. This always comes through. So of course this gives me that 5% total armor, 20% hazard protection. I get bonus armor on here. The roll's a little low, but 6,600 isn't too bad. I have empowered on here, 10% skill power, because I'm trying to get my skill power up so then I can unlock some of my mods for my chem launcher, and then of course for my pulse. Right here we have defense protocol mod slot. This is going to give me 2,000 extra health. It has blind, death resistance, disrupt resistance, and then I have a defensive system mending. And I always recommend putting these mending slots on here when you on the defensive system mod slots, because they always have that, look at that 3% total armor. That's going to help me get that higher armor at 253 plus. For the gloves, I'm running the Murakami gloves. This is going to give me that 8% health, so that's why I'm closer to that 60,000 range with health. And then for the rolls, I have health on here and LMG damage. The perfect scenario will be something like this that has straight 1 damage. You see how this one has 10% shotgun damage. I think I even have one that has only LMG damage. Let me see if I have one on here for you guys. Yeah, so this one has 7% LMG damage. So you can get some really high rolls on the ones that have just 1 attribute. I think I've seen like 11, 12%. I think that's what I've seen before. So that would be a little bit better because that would be on top of the 4%. So I would like to have 1 roll here. Forget about the health. I can get health somewhere else. It has compensated. Weapon damage is increased by 15% when critical hit chance is below 20%. And I think compensated is going up to 20%, and then it's with critical hit chance below 15%. So that's going to be pretty good, right? If you're going to stay under 3 offensive, get that extra damage, and then as long as you have low crit chance, which on most LMG builds, you're not building for crit chance anyway. So you do have to have 3 offensive or less to run this. And then for the backpack, the Petrov backpack, you at least want 1 piece with Petrov. I feel like the Petrov backpack is the best for the LMG because you get a lot of rolls. So look, I get a 10% LMG damage, and then look at all these rolls I get. I get 2 skill power rolls and 2 defense rolls. So cooldown reduction, skill power, then I get bonus armor and health. And then I'm running on the ropes. Weapon damage is increased by 25% when all skills are on cooldown. So that's going to be required 7 or more. That's why I had to get that 7 mark. And that 25% weapon damage is amazing. And then I have hardened on here 10% armor. So that's going to push me to that 253,000 armor. So if we go into the skills, you're going to see that I'm running a heal of 34%. And then I'm running an extra duration of 32%. Ideally, I would like to have one of these unlocked. Maybe have some more ammo. So I'd have 7 shots and then just keep the one that gives me the bigger heal. Now you can see right here, I can actually have 7 shots, but then I wouldn't have a bigger heal. And I like to have that a little bit bigger heal. It helps out. So if I can get this unlocked, that would be kind of cool. Or if I could even get this unlocked, that'd be an additional 45% heal on top of the one I'm already using. So if you guys get some really good mods, that's where you guys can change how your chem launcher works. And then for the pulse, I'm running the pulse. I do like running the radius on here, so I have the 30% radius. And then if I can get my skill power up, wait, no, I have one right here. So there you go. So I have this one here that's 31%. So my total effective radius right now is 84 meters, which is pretty decent, right? Because anything above 100 meters, you're not going to be within fighting range anyway. So if you pulse them 84 meters for 10 seconds, you'll get that 10% damage. Remember, in the next patch, that is going up. Now, if we get into the stats, let's check out the stats real quick. So my base damage on here is almost 32,000, 31,984. My critical hit chance is 0%. We're not even worried about that. So we're not even going to worry about the critical hit damage at 25%. But look, I got 65% headshot damage. I have 25% accuracy, 25% stability. Now my all weapon damage is 38%. And then my LMG damage is 32%. That's why this build hits so hard and it's so good to use. And with having 253,000 armor, having around 56,000 health, I feel like this build is built. And remember, this doesn't include on the ropes. So on the ropes, once I have that active, I'm going to get 25% extra weapon damage on top of that 38%. And then every time I have spotter active, I get that 10%. So initially I'll have that 10%. Once the pulse goes on cooldown, then I'll get the 35% every time I have both skills on cooldown. So this build actually puts in a lot of work, and I feel that it works really good. I think that my favorite 2 talents to run are Unstoppable, and I feel that Unbreakable is going to be really good in the future. So let's see if we have one on here. I feel this 25% max armor is repaired when your armor is depleted. Armor kits used within the next 5 seconds are not consumed. So something like that's going to be really good in the next patch, because I think armor, people are almost at 300,000 armor. Imagine getting 25% of that. That could be a big game change right there. But Unstoppable Force is going to be for those guys who just want to be straight damage. You're killing an enemy, you grant that 2% weapon damage for every 10,000 max armor, and I think that's dropping down a little bit. I think the 2% stays there for PvE. It goes to 1% in conflict, and then I think max armor is at 20,000, but that hasn't been confirmed. But I still think both of these talents are going to be really good. So it just depends on what you're trying to run and what you guys want to be. If you guys want to be straight DPS or have a little bit more survivability. Let me know what you guys think about this build. This is probably one of my favorite builds to run. I still run this build nonstop. I am still looking for the perfect MG5, if I can get one that has ammo capacity instead of reload speed. And then I put that unhinge on there and it has some good damage. Woo! I think this thing will be a beast, not only in the Occupied DZ, not only in PvE, but also in normalization. I think it will be really good. So we'll see what happens if I can keep hunting. I got to keep grinding. You guys know this is all about grinding in this game. Now, one thing I do like doing versus what other people like doing, I know I've seen this a lot on PC. The guys like running Sharpshooter with this build because they get a lot of headshots, so they like that 25% increased headshot. They also like Def Hands, which gives you 30% increased reload speed because of the mag size on the LMG. I don't really need it, but when you do have to reload, that helps out, right? And then also 30% increased weapon stability, reduced recoil, faster reacquisition of targets, breath control. So these 3 talents right here, really, really good, and that's why a lot of the guys like running Sharpshooter. Personally, I like running this one for the fact that I do have that 15% increased light machine gun. Every time my armor breaks, look, when armor is reduced to 0, it refills all main ammo, and that's why I like running this, because of this talent right here. So when my armor does break, if I can get around a corner, I don't have to worry about reloading. I just got to worry about healing myself, and then I can get back right into battle. So that is why I do really enjoy this. I do like that 15% increased light machine gun damage, and then I do like crisis response. The main 2 talents why I run Demolitionist. So if you guys are looking at trying out different specializations with this, you can. Remember, your damage will go down just a little bit. Let me know what you guys think about this build. Also, if you guys have any questions on this build, use the comment section down below. Don't forget, if you're new to this channel, Nothing But Skills Gaming channel, I do have other content creators creating on here. So what we're trying to do is build a team community on this channel. And if you want to get more content from me, you can check out my main channel at Nothing But Skills. Thank you guys again for all the support. If you don't see me in conflict, if you don't see me in the dark zone, it's only a matter of time. Nothing But Skills is out.